The sky above Orion Colony burned red long before the first alarms reached the streets. Huge alien ships moved through the clouds like dark mountains, blocking the stars one by one. Their engines shook the ground so hard that windows cracked across the city. People ran through crowded roads carrying children, bags, and anything they could save. Sirens screamed from every tower while military cannons fired useless shots into the sky. Commander Zor stood inside the main alien warship and watched the destruction calmly. His cold silver eyes followed the explosions below as human defense stations vanished in flames. To him, Earth's colonies were weak targets. He believed humans were emotional creatures that would panic and surrender after enough fear. "Begin ground invasion," he ordered. Thousands of alien soldiers dropped from the ships in metal pods that slammed into the streets like falling meteors. The moment the pods opened, heavily armored warriors rushed into the city with plasma rifles glowing blue in the smoke. Buildings collapsed everywhere. Fire spread through homes and markets. The colony was dying. Far below the burning streets, Captain Adam Reed moved through an underground service tunnel with his rifle held close to his chest. Sweat covered his face despite the cold air. Dust fell from the ceiling every few seconds as explosions shook the ground above him. Beside him walked Rex. The massive black canine moved silently through the darkness, his metal armor softly glowing along the edges. His sharp eyes scanned every corner while his ears twitched at distant sounds humans could never hear. Unlike normal dogs, Rex had been trained for war since birth. He could track enemies through smell, heat, and even radiation. Adam trusted Rex more than anyone. The tunnel behind them was crowded with survivors trying to escape the invasion. Mothers carried crying children while injured soldiers leaned against the walls. Fear filled every face. A young man grabbed Adam's arm as he passed. "Captain, are the defense fleets coming?" he asked with shaking hands. Adam looked at him for a moment but said nothing. The truth would only make things worse. Most of the human fleet had already been destroyed in orbit. Rex suddenly stopped walking. The canine lowered his head and growled softly. Adam froze. He understood that growl. Enemies. The lights above flickered once before dying completely. Darkness swallowed the tunnel. Panic spread instantly among the civilians. What happened? Why did the power fail? Please don't leave us. Adam raised one hand for silence. Then he heard it. Metal footsteps. Slow. Heavy. Getting closer. Alien soldiers. Blue lights appeared at the far end of the tunnel as several armored invaders entered the underground passage. Their rifles pointed forward while strange voices echoed from their helmets. One of the aliens spotted the civilians. It raised its weapon. Adam fired first. The tunnel exploded with gunfire. Bright flashes filled the darkness as plasma bolts struck the walls. People screamed and dropped to the ground. Rex moved like a shadow. The massive canine charged through the smoke faster than the eye could follow. He slammed into the first alien soldier and knocked it against the wall hard enough to crack its armor. Before the second alien could react, Rex bit into its throat with terrifying force. Adam kept firing carefully, protecting the civilians behind him. The fight lasted less than a minute. When the shooting stopped, 3 alien bodies lay motionless on the tunnel floor. The survivors stared at Rex in silence. Blood dripped from the canine's metal jaw while his glowing eyes watched the darkness ahead. One little girl slowly stepped forward. "Is he a monster?" she whispered. Adam looked down at Rex. The canine calmly sat beside him like an obedient guard dog. "No," Adam answered quietly. "He's the reason we're still alive." Another explosion shook the colony above them. Dust rained from the ceiling again. Adam knew the tunnels would not stay safe for long. "We keep moving," he ordered. The survivors followed him deeper underground. Hours passed. The farther they traveled, the quieter the city became above them. The sounds of battle slowly faded until only distant rumbling remained. Orion Colony had almost completely fallen. Finally, the group reached an abandoned maintenance station beneath the old transport rails. Rust covered the walls, and broken machines filled the corners. It was not much, but it could hide them for a while. Some survivors rested immediately. Others cried silently. Adam sat against the wall while cleaning his rifle. Rex rested nearby but remained alert, his ears constantly moving. A wounded soldier approached Adam carefully. "We can't stay here forever," the man said. "The aliens will search every tunnel." Adam nodded slowly. "I know. Then what do we do?" Before Adam could answer, Rex suddenly stood again. Growling. Low and dangerous. Everyone became silent. The canine walked toward a dark hallway connected to the station. His nose twitched several times before he looked back at Adam. There were more enemies nearby. Adam motioned for the survivors to stay quiet. He and Rex moved into the hallway together, disappearing into the darkness. The corridor stretched deep beneath the colony. Old pipes lined the walls while steam drifted from broken valves. The only sound was water dripping somewhere far away. Then Adam saw them. 5 alien soldiers searching the tunnels. They moved carefully with weapons raised, scanning every corner. One soldier pointed at fresh footprints on the floor. They were tracking the survivors. Adam prepared to fire, but Rex looked at him first. The canine already understood. Adam gave a small nod. Rex vanished into the shadows. The aliens continued walking forward, unaware that death was already hunting them. A few seconds later, one soldier suddenly disappeared into the darkness with a short scream. The others turned in panic. What was that? Blue lights flashed wildly through the corridor. Another soldier vanished. Gunfire erupted everywhere. But the tunnels were narrow and dark. The aliens could not see their attacker. Rex struck again and again from the shadows like a wild beast. His metal claws tore through armor while terrified screams echoed underground. Adam watched silently from cover, firing only when necessary. Within moments, the hallway became quiet again. Bodies covered the floor. Blood ran between the pipes. Rex slowly stepped out of the darkness, breathing heavily. For the first time since the invasion began, Adam saw fear inside alien eyes. And he realized something important. The aliens came to hunt humans. But down here in the tunnels beneath Orion Colony, the hunters had become the hunted. Cold rain fell across the forests of Velora Moon for 3 straight days. Thick fog covered the trees and turned the battlefield into a world of shadows. Broken alien ships burned between giant black rocks while smoke drifted slowly through the wet air. Deep inside the forest, human soldiers watched silently from hidden positions. Captain Adam Reed lay behind a fallen tree with mud covering his armor. Water dripped from his helmet as he studied the enemy camp below through a cracked scope. Hundreds of alien soldiers moved around large machines surrounded by bright blue lights. Supply trucks unloaded weapons while guards patrolled the area carefully. But even with all their technology, the aliens looked nervous. They kept staring into the trees. Listening. Waiting. Commander Zor had sent another battalion into the forest 2 nights earlier. None of them returned. Their signals disappeared one by one until only silence remained. Now fear was spreading through the alien army. Adam lowered his rifle and looked toward the darkness beside him. Rex stood completely still between the trees. Rain slid down the canine's black armor while his glowing eyes remained fixed on the camp below. His nose twitched slowly as he tracked every movement, every smell, every heartbeat. Around them, other human soldiers waited quietly with their war dogs hidden nearby. Nobody spoke. They had learned that silence was stronger than bullets in these forests. Adam pressed a small button on his radio. "All teams ready," he whispered. Soft replies answered him from the darkness. Then the radio became silent again. Far below, an alien officer shouted orders at nervous soldiers near the camp entrance. Tall metal towers lit the area with cold blue light, but beyond those lights waited endless darkness. One young alien soldier gripped his rifle tightly while staring at the trees. "Did you hear that?" he asked quietly. Another soldier shook his head. "Hear what?" The first soldier swallowed hard. Growling. Before anyone could answer, the camp lights suddenly flickered. Once. Twice. Then half the camp went dark. Panic spread instantly. Soldiers raised weapons in every direction while alarms echoed through the forest. Commander Zor watched the chaos through a live drone feed aboard his command ship high above the moon. His sharp face remained calm, but anger burned inside his eyes. "How many soldiers have we lost this week?" he asked coldly. An officer beside him hesitated. "Nearly 400, Commander." Zor turned slowly. "To primitive animals." The officer lowered his head. "The humans fight beside them, sir. They use the forests against us." Zor's voice became quieter. "Then burn the forests." Human snipers hidden high in the trees fired at the camp lights first. Glass exploded everywhere, throwing the area into deeper darkness. Before the aliens could react, shadowy figures rushed through the fog. Rex moved faster than the rain itself. 1 second he was beside Adam. The next, he crashed into an alien guard near the supply trucks. Metal claws ripped through armor while the soldiers screamed and disappeared beneath the massive canine. Gunfire exploded across the camp. Blue plasma bolts burned through trees while human rifles answered from hidden positions. But the humans never stayed in one place. They fired, vanished, then attacked again from another direction. The aliens could not track them. The fog made everything worse. Shapes moved between trees. Growls echoed from every side. Sometimes soldiers fired at shadows only to hit their own allies by mistake. One terrified alien ran toward the communications tower, desperate to call for help. Before he reached it, something grabbed him from behind and dragged him screaming into the forest. The screaming stopped quickly. Adam moved through the battlefield carefully with 2 soldiers beside him. They planted explosives under alien vehicles while chaos spread around them. "Charges set," one soldier whispered. Adam nodded. "Fall back." Suddenly Rex appeared beside them, his armor covered in mud and blood. The canine breathed heavily but remained focused. Then his ears lifted sharply. More enemies were coming. A large group of alien reinforcements emerged from the north side of the camp carrying heavy plasma weapons. Their commander shouted angrily while pointing toward the forest. "Push forward. Kill everything." The aliens charged into the trees. It was exactly what Adam wanted. The human soldiers disappeared deeper into the forest while the alien troops followed recklessly through thick fog and darkness. Minutes passed. Then the screaming began again. One by one, alien soldiers vanished between the trees. Some were pulled silently into the shadows. Others stepped into hidden traps made from broken metal and explosives. Every few moments came another terrible growl. The forest itself felt alive. One alien officer tried to keep his soldiers calm. "Stay together," he shouted. But fear was stronger than discipline now. Nobody trusted the darkness. Nobody trusted the fog. Even worse. Nobody knew where the humans were. Commander Zor watched the battle from orbit with growing frustration. His troops carried weapons powerful enough to destroy cities, yet they were being hunted like frightened animals. A second officer approached carefully. "Commander, we are losing contact with another squad." Zor clenched his fists. "How?" We We do not know. The officer hesitated before speaking again. Some soldiers believe the canines are not normal creatures. Zor stared coldly at the screen showing burning vehicles and terrified troops running through the forest. Everything dies, he said quietly. But even he no longer sounded completely certain. Hours later, the battle finally ended. Rain still fell across Velora Moon. The alien camp burned in silence. Destroyed vehicles smoked beside shattered towers while bodies covered the muddy ground. Human soldiers slowly emerged from the trees to collect supplies and wounded allies. Adam stood near the center of the ruined camp while Rex sat beside him calmly. One young soldier looked around in disbelief. We defeated all of them. Adam shook his head. No. He stared toward the dark forest beyond the camp. They'll come back. In orbit above the moon, Commander Zor studied the latest casualty report with cold silence. Another battalion lost. Another failure. But this time, something felt different. For the first time in many years, the great alien commander felt a strange feeling growing inside him. Fear. Then, through the damaged audio feed from the battlefield below, he heard it clearly. A deep canine growl echoing through the darkness. The sound lasted only seconds. But Commander Zor could not forget it. Black Station floated alone in deep space like a giant steel monster. The massive alien fortress guarded the center of Commander Zor's fleet and controlled every nearby war sector. Bright blue lights covered its outer walls while hundreds of defense cannons slowly rotated through the darkness. No human ship had ever reached this close before. But tonight was different. Several damaged cargo ships drifted silently toward the station. Their metal hulls were burned and broken from battle. To the alien scanners, they looked harmless, just more destroyed ships left behind after the war. Inside one of the cargo containers, Captain Adam Reed sat quietly with 6 human soldiers around him. The air smelled of oil and metal. Nobody spoke. The only sound came from the slow breathing of Rex lying beside Adam in the darkness. The massive canine remained perfectly still. His glowing eyes watched the sealed cargo door carefully. Adam checked his rifle one last time before speaking softly into his radio. All teams prepare. Closer. Closer. Then finally. A heavy metallic sound echoed through the ship. Docking complete. Alien workers entered the cargo bay of Black Station without suspicion. Smoke drifted through the air as large machines moved damaged containers into storage areas. None of the guards realized human soldiers were hiding inside. One alien guard lazily scanned the first cargo container. Nothing alive, he muttered. Another guard laughed. Humans die easily. Inside the container, Adam listened carefully while gripping his rifle tighter. Rex suddenly lifted his head. The canine heard something. Footsteps. Coming closer. The cargo door slowly unlocked with a loud hiss. The moment it opened, Rex exploded forward like a black storm. The first alien guard barely had time to scream before the massive canine slammed him against the wall. Adam and the soldiers rushed out behind Rex, firing controlled shots through the cargo bay. Blue sparks flew everywhere. Within seconds, the guards were dead. Move! Adam ordered. Human teams spread through the station quickly before alarms could fully activate. Some headed toward the defense systems while others moved to engineering rooms deep inside Black Station. Red warning lights suddenly flashed across every hallway. Intruder alert! Intruder alert! Commander Zor immediately looked up from his command chair inside the station tower. What happened? He demanded. An officer hurried toward him nervously. Unknown attackers inside the station, Commander. How many? We are not sure. Zor's expression darkened. Seal every sector. Kill them all. Across the station, heavy security doors slammed shut. Armed alien soldiers flooded the corridors while automated defense drones activated near important control rooms. But the humans already knew the station layout. Dr. Sarah Lane had stolen old station maps months earlier. The others returned fire wildly as plasma bolts burned holes through the walls. One human soldier collapsed after being hit in the chest. Rex charged directly through the gunfire. The giant canine slammed into an alien soldier so hard both crashed through a glass control panel. Sparks exploded across the corridor while terrified screams echoed around them. Another alien tried firing at Rex from behind. Adam shot him before he could pull the trigger. The battle ended quickly. Bodies covered the hallway floor. Rex stood in the center breathing heavily while blood dripped from his armored jaws. One surviving alien soldier backed away in horror. "It's not an animal," he whispered. Then Rex lunged forward. Far deeper inside Black Station, explosions suddenly shook the fortress. Human sabotage teams destroyed shield generators one by one while station defenses slowly failed. Outside in space, hidden human warships finally appeared from nearby asteroid fields. Without the station shields, Black Station became vulnerable. Commander Zor watched the battle reports with growing rage. Defense cannons offline. Sector 12 lost. Engineering breach confirmed. Every report sounded worse than the last. Then another officer stumbled into the command room, terrified. "Commander, the creatures." Zor narrowed his eyes. "What about them?" The officer's hands shook badly. "They moved through the vents." At that exact moment, the lights inside the command tower suddenly died. Darkness swallowed the room. Several officers panicked instantly. Then came the sound. Growling. Low. Close. Moving through the walls. Alien soldiers aimed rifles toward the ceiling vents as metal scratching echoed above them. One vent cover suddenly exploded outward. A cyber canine dropped into the room. Screaming filled the tower. More canines burst from other vents while hidden human soldiers attacked through side doors. Plasma fire flashed wildly across the darkness. Commander Zor watched his elite guards torn apart in seconds. For the first time in years, true fear touched his mind. The humans were not fighting like soldiers anymore. They hunted like predators. Zor quickly activated an emergency escape signal. "We abandon the station," he ordered coldly. "But Commander." "Now." Meanwhile Adam reached the main reactor chamber deep inside Black Station. Giant machines thundered around him while warning sirens screamed across every wall. Dr. Sarah Lane's voice came through his radio. "Reactor charges ready." Adam looked toward the glowing reactor core. "Then finish it." He planted the final explosive device himself. The countdown started immediately. 10 minutes until total destruction. Suddenly Rex growled sharply beside him. Adam turned just in time to see Commander Zor standing across the reactor platform surrounded by heavily armed guards. The alien commander stared coldly at the human captain. "So," Zor said quietly. "This is the warrior who destroys my armies." Adam raised his rifle. "And you're the coward hiding behind them." The guards opened fire instantly. A brutal firefight erupted across the reactor room. Explosions shook the platform while sparks rained from damaged machines. Rex attacked through the chaos like a monster unleashed, tearing through armored guards with terrifying speed. Adam pushed toward Zor carefully. But the alien commander suddenly activated an emergency shield barrier between them. "You fight well, human," Zor said coldly. "But wars are not won by beasts." Adam looked at the burning station around them. "No," he answered. "They're won by survivors." Warning alarms suddenly became louder. Reactor failure imminent. Zor glanced toward the countdown clock. Then he stepped backward into an escape elevator. "This is not over." The doors sealed shut. Adam fired several shots uselessly against the metal doors before the elevator vanished upward. Commander Zor escaped. Rex barked loudly beside him. The station was dying fast now. Time to go, Adam said. Human forces rushed toward evacuation ships while explosions spread through Black Station sector by sector. Outside, surviving alien ships retreated desperately from the collapsing fortress. Then finally, Black Station exploded. A giant wall of fire burst through space as the massive fortress shattered into thousands of burning pieces. Far away inside his escaping command ship, Commander Zor silently watched the destruction. His hands clenched tightly behind his back. He had lost soldiers. Lost fleets. Lost his station. And worst of all, he now understood something terrifying about humanity. Humans did not fear monsters. They created them. The war was no longer happening near Earth alone. Now the humans were fighting inside alien territory. Across nearby star systems, massive Earth fleets moved through deep space like storms of steel and fire. Giant battleships carrying the flag of the Earthborn coalition appeared near one alien world after another. The same humans who once hid underground were now attacking the empire that tried to destroy them. News of Black Station's destruction spread quickly through the galaxy. Alien commanders whispered about human soldiers and their savage war dogs. Some called them demons from Earth. Others believed the Canines were not real animals at all, but monsters created only for war. Fear traveled faster than any ship. Behind thick glass walls stood the newest canine battalions. Dozens of massive war dogs waited silently inside training chambers. Their cybernetic armor was stronger than before. Metal plates protected their bodies while glowing scanners covered their helmets. Some had mechanical claws designed to cut through alien steel doors. But the most dangerous upgrade was hidden inside their systems. Tracking implants. The canines could now follow enemy heartbeats through walls, detect hidden movement, and communicate silently with human soldiers during combat. Sarah stopped beside one chamber and watched Rex carefully. The large black canine stood still while robotic arms attached fresh armor pieces onto his body. His glowing eyes reflected against the glass. Captain Adam Reed entered the room moments later. "You still treating him like a machine?" he asked quietly. Sarah sighed. "I'm trying to keep him alive." Adam crossed his arms while looking at Rex. "He's already been through enough." Sarah looked tired. "We all have." For a moment, silence filled the room. Then warning alarms suddenly echoed across the facility. An officer rushed toward them. "The fleet is ready," he announced. "Operation Iron Shadow begins in 20 minutes. Adam nodded slowly. The counterattack had finally started. Far away in the Varney star system, Commander Zor stood inside the bridge of his new flagship while studying battle reports. His empire was losing territory every week now. Human forces attacked supply stations, military factories, and communication worlds faster than expected. Worse still, alien soldiers were refusing missions. Many feared fighting the humans directly. Especially at night. One officer approached Zor nervously. "Commander, several outer fleets have retreated without orders." Zor's eyes darkened. "Why?" The officer hesitated before answering. "They heard the howls, sir." Zor clenched his fists angrily. Cowardice was spreading through his empire like disease. Meanwhile, deep in space near the planet Korath, hundreds of Earth warships emerged from hyperspace together. Their engines lit the darkness while fighter squadrons launched across the battlefield. The alien defense fleet quickly moved to intercept them. Large warships exchanged heavy fire almost immediately. Explosions filled space as missiles and plasma beams crossed between the fleets. Inside one human assault ship, Adam prepared his soldiers for boarding operations. Rex waited beside him wearing newly upgraded armor. Small blue lights glowed softly along the canine's body while tracking systems scanned nearby enemy ships. Adam checked his rifle. Targets confirmed. A nearby soldier nodded. Enemy command carrier located. Adam looked down at Rex. "You ready, boy?" Rex growled softly. That was enough answer. The assault ship slammed directly into the side of the alien carrier moments later. Metal screamed as boarding clamps locked into place. "Move!" Human soldiers rushed through the breach while smoke filled the corridors beyond. The aliens inside were already panicking. Some fired wildly down the hallways while others tried retreating deeper into the ship. But the humans moved too quickly. And Rex moved even faster. The giant canine charged through the burning corridors like living terror. His upgraded armor protected him from plasma fire while his mechanical claws ripped through sealed doors effortlessly. One alien soldier screamed after seeing glowing eyes appear through the smoke. The beast! Before he could escape, Rex tackled him to the floor. Nearby human soldiers pushed forward room by room while explosions shook the carrier. Alien defenses collapsed within minutes. Across the battlefield, similar attacks happened everywhere. Human boarding teams invaded ship after ship. Cybernetic canines hunted through engine rooms and command centers. The terrifying howls of the war dogs echoed through communication systems as frightened alien crews abandoned positions. One alien captain stared in horror at his monitor after hearing the sounds. "They're aboard already," he whispered. His officer nodded fearfully. "Sir, they came through the vents." The captain immediately gave retreat orders. Soon entire alien fleets began turning away from battle. Some ships fled before humans even reached them. Commander Zor watched the disaster unfold through live tactical screens. His fleets outnumbered the humans in many sectors, yet fear destroyed discipline faster than weapons ever could. Another officer hurried toward him. "Commander, Fleet 7 has retreated." Zor slammed his fist against the command table. "For what reason?" The officer lowered his head. "They reported hearing canine signals inside their ships." Zor stared silently at the battlefield. Then he realized the truth. The humans were using fear as a weapon now. And it was working. Back aboard the captured alien carrier, Adam walked through smoking corridors filled with abandoned weapons and dead soldiers. Human victory banners already appeared on control screens across the ship. Rex stood beside a shattered doorway while scanning nearby movement. One wounded alien survivor looked up at Adam weakly. "Why?" he asked painfully. "Why do humans fight beside predators?" Adam looked down at Rex for a moment. Then he answered quietly. "Because loyalty is stronger than fear." Outside the carrier windows, alien ships continued retreating across space. The Earthborn fleets pushed forward without stopping. For the first time since the war began, humanity was winning. Days later, reports spread across every nearby system. Entire alien colonies surrendered after hearing rumors of the Earth war dogs. Some soldiers abandoned bases before human fleets even arrived. Stories grew larger with every battle. People claimed the canines could smell fear. Others believed they hunted enemies across entire planets without resting. Nobody knew which stories were true anymore. But everyone knew one thing. If human soldiers arrived with glowing-eyed beasts beside them, death was close behind. Far away inside his flagship, Commander Zor stood alone in darkness while listening to another battlefield recording. At first there was only static. Then slowly, a deep canine howl echoed through the speakers. Long. Cold. Terrifying. For the first time in his military career, Commander Zor turned the recording off before it ended. Earth stood surrounded by war. Thousands of ships filled the dark space around the planet while burning debris drifted between massive fleets. Explosions flashed endlessly across the stars like violent storms. Human defense stations fired every weapon they had as alien warships pushed closer toward Earth. This was Commander Zor's final attack. After months of defeat, fear, and retreat, the alien commander had gathered everything left of his empire for one last battle. If Earth survived today, the Dominion would fall forever. Inside his giant flagship, Zor stood before a massive screen showing Earth below. Blue oceans and white clouds covered the planet peacefully despite the war raging above it. "So this is the world that fights back," he said quietly. An officer beside him nodded nervously. "Human resistance remains strong, Commander." Zor's silver eyes narrowed. "Then we erase them completely." Outside the flagship, enormous alien cannons prepared to fire directly toward Earth's defense network. Smaller warships surrounded the giant vessel like guards protecting a king. But hidden among drifting wreckage nearby, a small Earth assault ship waited silently. Inside the dark ship, Captain Adam Reed loaded fresh ammunition into his rifle while checking the final attack plan on his screen. Around him, human soldiers prepared quietly for what might become a suicide mission. At the center of the room sat Rex. The massive Canine wore heavy cybernetic armor covered in battle scars. One glowing mechanical eye scanned the room while metal claws scraped softly against the floor. Adam walked toward him slowly. "This is it," he whispered. Rex stood immediately. The K9 understood. Dr. Sarah Lane entered from the cockpit area carrying a small data chip. "The flagship shields will stay weak for only 4 minutes," she explained. "After that, you won't get another chance." Adam took the chip carefully. "And if we fail?" Sarah looked at Earth on the nearby screen. "Then nobody gets another chance." Silence filled the ship. Then the pilot spoke through the radio. "We're in position." Adam looked toward his soldiers. "Move." The assault ship burst forward through burning debris at full speed. Around them, giant human battleships launched heavy attacks against the alien fleet to create an opening. Missiles exploded everywhere. Ships burned. Fighter craft crashed into one another across space. But through all the chaos, Adam's ship flew directly toward Commander Zor's flagship. Warning alarms instantly echoed through the alien command bridge. "Small enemy vessel approaching." Zor turned sharply. "Destroy it." Defense cannons fired immediately. Bright plasma blasts chased the assault ship through space while the pilot twisted between explosions desperately. Metal screamed as part of the ship's hull burned away. "We won't survive another hit," the pilot shouted. Adam grabbed Rex tightly as the ship slammed violently against the side of the flagship. Docking clamps locked. "Go!" Adam yelled. Human soldiers exploded through the breech door into the alien flagship. Gunfire erupted instantly inside the corridors while smoke spread through flashing red emergency lights. The battle had begun. Alien guards rushed toward the breach point from every direction, but Rex attacked first. The giant canine charged through the smoke like a living nightmare. His armored body smashed one guard into the wall hard enough to crack metal. Another alien fired directly at him, but Rex leaped forward and tore the weapon away before slamming the soldier to the floor. Human soldiers pushed behind him carefully. Every hallway became a battlefield. Explosions shook the ship while alarms screamed endlessly overhead. Far deeper inside the flagship, Commander Zor watched the invasion unfold across security screens. "It's him," one officer whispered fearfully. "The human captain." Zor's face darkened. "And the beast." He slowly lifted his plasma blade from its stand. "No more running." Meanwhile Adam fought through another corridor with Rex beside him. Bodies covered the floor while damaged wires sparked from broken walls. More alien troops kept arriving, but fear already filled their eyes. They had heard the stories. The ghost wolves of Earth. One young alien soldier froze after seeing Rex emerge through smoke and darkness. The soldier dropped his weapon immediately. "Please," he whispered. But another officer behind him shouted angrily and opened fire. Rex lunged instantly. The corridor became silent seconds later. Adam kept moving toward the command tower. "Almost there," he said through heavy breathing. Suddenly the entire hallway shook violently. A giant security door slammed shut ahead of them. Then a voice echoed through hidden speakers. "Captain Adam Reed." Adam stopped immediately. Commander Zor stepped from the shadows ahead, surrounded by burning lights and drifting smoke. Heavy black armor covered his body while a glowing plasma blade hummed in his hand. At last, the two enemies faced each other. Zor looked at Rex first. "So this creature is your weapon." Adam raised his rifle slowly. "He's my partner." Without warning, Zor attacked. The alien commander moved faster than Adam expected. His plasma blade crashed against Adam's rifle, throwing sparks across the corridor. Adam barely avoided a second strike before firing several quick shots. Zor blocked them with his armor shield. Then Rex attacked from the side. The massive canine slammed into Zor hard enough to throw all three of them against the wall. Metal cracked while warning alarms screamed louder around them. The brutal fight continued through the burning corridor. Adam punched. Zor struck back with terrifying strength. Rex attacked whenever openings appeared, forcing the alien commander backward again and again. But Zor was still dangerous. He suddenly grabbed Rex by the armored neck and threw the canine across the hallway. Rex crashed into broken pipes with a painful growl. "Rex!" Adam shouted. Zor turned toward Adam coldly. "You fight like animals." Adam wiped blood from his face slowly. "Maybe that's why we survive." He charged forward again. This time Adam tackled Zor directly against the command door while Rex recovered behind them. The alien commander raised his blade for one final strike. Then Rex leaped. The giant canine crashed into Zor from behind with full force. The plasma blade flew from the commander's hand and disappeared into the flames nearby. Adam grabbed his rifle instantly. For one silent second, nobody moved. Then Adam aimed directly at Commander Zor. The alien leader looked up at him slowly. "You destroy empires," Zor whispered. Adam's finger tightened on the trigger. "No," he answered quietly. "You destroyed yourselves." The gunshot echoed across the burning flagship. Commander Zor fell motionless onto the metal floor. At the same moment, warning sirens changed across the entire ship. Critical reactor failure. The flagship was dying. Adam quickly helped Rex stand again. The canine limped badly but stayed close beside him. Together they escaped toward evacuation ships while explosions spread throughout the giant vessel. Outside in space, human fleets watched as Commander Zor's flagship finally exploded in a massive wave of fire and shattered steel. The alien fleet immediately broke apart. Some ships surrendered. Others fled into deep space forever. The war was over. Days later, celebrations spread across Earth and nearby colonies. Cities filled with lights while survivors remembered everyone lost during the invasion. But across the galaxy, another story spread even faster. Stories about humans. And their savage war canines. Alien worlds whispered about glowing eyes in the dark. About silent hunters moving through smoke and shadows. About loyalty stronger than fear. Years later, children from distant planets still listen to forbidden stories about the warriors of Earth. And always, every story ended the same way. If humans arrive alone, you may still survive. But if you hear the howl of their canines beside them, run.